Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Monday, December 9th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with the end of tag team tournament season in Japan. In New Japan Pro Wrestling, the company's World Tag League wrapped up in Kumamoto with Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito defeating Gabe Kidd and Sanada in the finals yesterday of their tournament. It was also announced on the show that Naito and Takahashi would be facing off against each other in a singles match at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. All Japan's Real World Tag League came to a close inside Korakuen in Tokyo yesterday. In the final, the Saito brothers team of Jun and Rei Saito won their first tag league by defeating Triple Crown champion Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Kento Miyahara. Earlier in the night, the Saitos earned their trip into the finals by defeating Ren Abe and Ryuki Honda, while in the other semifinals, Smith and Miyahara knocked off Rising Hayato and Yuma Anzai. Also on the show, Yuko Miyamoto won the Gaora TV title by defeating Seigo Tachibana. Stardom's Goddesses Tag League also wrapped up yesterday in Hamamatsu. The final was won by Hanan and Sai Ida, who topped Maika and Hanako. In another note from Japan, Meiko Satomura won the Sendai Promotions World title yesterday, defeating Dash Chisako. Satomura was the promotion's first ever champion, holding the title for 371 days in 2015 and 16. Last month, Satomura announced her 30-year in-ring career would be ending at her retirement show in April of 2025. In Lucha Libre news, former AEW wrestler Penta El Zero Miedo made a surprise appearance in AAA on Saturday night's show in Mexico City. Penta was introduced in the ring during the show and addressed the crowd. Penta has competed on and off for AAA throughout his career and is a three-time former AAA World Tag Team Champion as part of the Lucha Brothers, as well as a former AAA Latin American Champion. In the main event of Saturday night's show, Alberto El Patron retained the AAA Mega Championship against Cibernetico. Also on the show, Laredo Kid retained the AAA Cruiserweight title against Matt Riddle. And we close with some independent wrestling news. Myron Reed defeated Ace Austin to become the new Revolver champion on Saturday at Pro Wrestling Revolver's season finale event at the Horizon Event Center in Clive, Iowa. Reed had lost to TNA X Division champion Moose earlier in the night, while Austin had defended the Revolver title successfully against Matt Cardona. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.